Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Wrestling. I am your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always, my man with the master plan. A couple days delayed, but hey, we're here nonetheless. Mr. Chance, Michaels, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. The weekend is upon us. We're delayed a little bit. This is just the schedules that we keep. It's unfortunate, but we do the best that we can, my friend. To
We're still we're still up to date though on our social media stuff. We keep the content rolling. Even if the show is behind, we're up to date with the current wrestling and boxing, which is good, right? So
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
the beauty of social media.
No, I get it, I get it. But I always look at this as a staple. This is the
Yeah,
main,
I know
right?
it feels off when you don't the show first and then the other stuff. I get it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're kind of like, you're doing the red corner boxing prediction shows and you got that going on. And I got my stuff with the main event mafia
You know
and
the
the main
toughest part
event
of that?
roundtable.
Yeah,
And
you're busy with that. The toughest part about those boxing shows, you know what the toughest part for me is?
what is it?
Understanding what the hell those guys are saying half the time. I can't understand like three or four of them. So one guy will say this, like I can't. Even, I was trying to sit here, like, what are they saying? His accents are so thick,
It
and
happens,
they're good guys though. It's all in good fun. But I bust their balls off air about that.
man. No, fair play. You know what? For me, it's never been an issue. I guess because I've been surrounded by it most of my life.
Mm.
I hear those accents. It doesn't even phase me. Like I can decipher everything those guys say. Uh,
I can never understand Hawkins predictions, and Mister Neutral, it's hard for me to pick up too.
well, I think he's from Manchester, so he's got that Manchurian kind of Eastern or that
No, no,
northern
no.
accent.
Neutral's a Scottish boy. He's from
I think
Scotland.
in Manchester, right?
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, yeah. But still, he's got that heavy northern
Mhm.
accent.
Well, I razz him about living in England all the time off the air. I won't say what I say, but
Fair
yeah.
enough. Fair enough. All right. Lots happening in the world of professional wrestling. Nothing major, no shows per se coming up, but in terms of headlines and stuff, I just want to start with Vince right off the bat. Let's just get him out of the way. Um, so it comes out that Vince actually tried to buy a majority stake in BKFC, which is the bare knuckle fighting company that
Mm.
McGregor's invested in and whatnot. But apparently a deal couldn't get done. But they were very high on him. They didn't feel the time was right. Rumors are now blowing up even more and more and expanding more and more that he is looking to buy TK or to buy WWE back. Um, dude, I don't know if these are rumors anymore or if this is actually something that's going to happen in the next little while. And people saying no, it's not going to happen. When it comes to Vince, wherever there's fire, something's going to happen here, man. He's buying something.
Mm. The thing is, how could BKFC not sell it to him? The greatest promoter of all time. I can go on for 20 minutes of what he's created, what he's done, how he's revolutionized not only wrestling, business, everything, pop culture, you name it, this guy's done it. Why would you not sell him a majority stake? This guy will take it. I don't want to say BKSA is underground, but it's not mainstream. This guy will make it mainstream. How could you not let him come in? Is very bad business, and they'll regret that decision first off the bat.
I don't know their
Makes no
reasoning
sense.
behind it. They just said the timing wasn't right, and I'm just basing it off the articles and the things that I've heard from other people and talked to other people about. And their sources are saying that they just felt that their timing wasn't right. I mean, they
Yeah,
didn't.
well, that sound like a bunch of idiots to me because you have the greatest promoter of all time with unlimited resources, unlimited money, saying, "Let me in. I'll take you guys from here to here," and you're saying the timing's not right. Well, then, good luck being underground because the mainstream doesn't watch BKFC. I don't mind it; I like it, but
Yeah.
it's not mainstream.
Well,
And
it's picking up.
McMahon would have made it mainstream.
Well, it's picking up steam, man. I mean, a lot of people are really thinking, okay, something's going to happen. And we've been saying it, something's going to happen, something's going to happen.
Mhm.
And I really feel that, with the backing of the Saudis, they got the money. No one else has it, and no one
They
else
have the
will.
money to do it, but I don't think TKO will sell it.
I think they will. I really do. I mean, honestly, again, this is just my own speculation. I could be completely wrong, but here's my thinking on it. They're not making any money off of this. Ironically enough, you think about it, the ticket prices and everything. But I mean, just look. I think we have to we have to factor in the overhead that each show costs. Like,
Mm.
the stage production, the fireworks, the pyros, the lighting, the Titantron, or whatever you want to call that thing. I don't think they realized how much it actually costs to put on a show. By cutting
Well,
out the live events, by cutting out all these other little aspects, they've really diminished their income. Like the real income came from the house shows.
the thing is that TKO got screwed. and they got screwed because they only bought it under one condition. Ari said in an interview, sitting with McMahon, we can go roll the tape. I bought it. I had to twist his arm, but not really. They kind of laughed to keep McMahon on as chairman of the board because that way McMahon can still oversee everything, call the shots. Ari's not a wrestling guy. Mark Shapiro's not a wrestling guy. Vince is. They're 51-49. Vince will still run the show, still oversee everything. And then he had to step down. And then Ari's like, oh my God, we have no leadership here. As you can see on the shows, it's straight chaos now on these shows. And TKO, I feel bad for them because they bought a product hoping Vinny would still be there, and he was gone 6 months later. So that's
I don't
and
don't
nobody's
feel
seen that coming, right?
I don't feel bad for them only for the fact that of how they've gouged everyone.
Mm.
Like I mean, it's hard to fathom that you're not making any money when people can't even go to shows, right?
That's
Like
the
I
biggest
mean,
mistake that they made.
pardon?
That's the biggest mistake. If Vince is still chairman of the board, then never would have happened.
No, I get
But
that, but it's hard to feel
I
sympathy
know.
or feel bad in my perspective, just because the wrestlers aren't really making killer money outside of maybe five guys and girls in total in that whole
Mm.
company. Everyone else is making basically the same wage. Merch sales are out of the roof. Social media is out of the roof. They're making money hand over fist, but they're not. Where's it all going? It has to be going into all the production, right? It's going into those 2 shows a week, 3 shows a week, the pay-per-views, the Saturday night's main event that they're doing, all that kind of stuff. That's where all this money's going into.
Mm.
They're not doing running house shows like they used to. The house shows paid for Raw and
Well,
SmackDown.
they're trying to say we're making it up with all the sponsorship we got, right? They
Yeah,
got
but
tons
they're
of
not.
sponsors now.
But then if they are, then why aren't they making money? They're
I don't
putting
think
they're putting advertising on tables now, man. They're putting
I know.
advertising on the ladders. Like I don't know. For me, that's not wrestling.
I know.
Now
I
they're
think
talking about putting sorry, man. They're saying they want to put advertising on the gear,
mhm, like
like
UFC did
soccer
for a bit.
jerseys.
Yeah, they're trying to make a buck, man. And it's tough because they don't really have anybody there. Like you, they're gonna say, "Oh, Michael Hayes is there and Bruce Pitchard." Nobody is there that knows how to run the show like Vinny does. Overall, day to day, everything. And there's no leadership there. And you're seeing it on Raw, you're seeing it on SmackDown, which is unwatchable in my
When you
opinion.
when you think of the
It's hard.
WWE, it was a homegrown, grassroots wrestling family-owned business. When
Mm-hmm.
you own something, when it's yours, if you and I were to go in partnership into buying a Subway
Mm-hmm.
restaurant sandwich shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee that you and I will put every effort into it to make sure it's successful. That we're not going to cut corners. We're going to be doing everything the right
Mm-hmm.
way, etc., etc. But when it's not yours, you don't treat it the same,
Yeah.
right? Now I see Vince looking from afar and being like, "Fuck, man! Like, what
What's
are you
going
guys
on?
doing?"
I know.
It's like building a house, selling it, then driving by and seeing the guy painted it pink or something. Not that there's anything wrong with a pink house.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure
don't
there is
think Vince.
something wrong,
I
but
don't think. I don't think TK will ever sell it back to Vince and the Saudis. But if they do, I think there's two reasons Vince wants it back. Number one, like you just said, clean up all the garbage, all the stupid stuff. We go on and on about that. I think the main reason Vince wants it back is going to give it to Shane. He's going to keep it. He's going to go to Shane. And if Vince comes back, I can tell you one thing right now, Mr. Paul Levesque, you're out. You'll be fired on day one. He's going to clean house with all the writers. He's going to revamp and rebuild, and the marks will go crazy online about it. But if Vince takes it over, Shane will be there with them. Stephanie and Triple H are gone, and
well,
Nick Khan is gone.
like I said, Nick
But
Khan's
I
not
don't think
even
it's ever
really.
going to happen though. They won't. TK won't sell it back to him.
I never know, never know, never no, never say never. We never thought Vince would sell the company in the first place, right? So
Well,
I mean,
BKFC, they should have gave him a piece. That's just boneheaded stuff.
well, let's see what they do, man. Let's see where he goes. He's not giving up. Now we know he's
Mm-hmm.
on the rampage. He's looking
Oh,
for
he's on.
something.
He's up to something, dude. Yeah,
Right?
a lot
So
of
if
things.
it's not WWE, maybe AEW, who knows, right? All right, let's move
Yeah.
on. Liv Morgan injured her arm pretty bad. She dislocated her shoulder. She had to go for surgery. She's out for a while. Ironically enough, this totally screwed up their Evolution show. They have to scrap everything they had designed for it going forward and rebook the whole thing now. Crazy how one injury can do that, eh?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. I've said it a few times over the years. I think the women are trying to work a style similar to the men, and we're seeing lots of injuries in women's wrestling now, right? Bone structure, genetics make it so they can't do some of the same stuff and the same intensity that some of the men can do, and they're doing it and they're getting injured at a record pace now. All the women are always getting injured, and that hurts the show. I think they need to do less is more. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to outshow the men, but they're getting hurt. It's too much.
It looked really simple though. That's the thing though. Like I'm
Well,
not,
not maybe on this one in
I'm not
particular, but I'm just
saying
saying
you're
overall.
wrong in your assessment of the women in that way, but
Mhm.
just the move itself looks so pedestrian.
I know.
It's just the way she landed, it just was awkward. But I get what you're saying. But yeah, that's interesting. All right. AEW, man. Interesting stuff going on there. They did their show in Mexico City with CMLL. I don't know if that was a response or something to the WWE and AAA. But they held the show in Mexico City. What did you think of it overall, man? I thought it was okay. I thought it was a decent show. A little long again. MJF taking off Mystico's mask. I mean, this guy is just heel personified, man. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm surprised they even allowed him to do that in Mexico City, considering that's still a place where people will wait outside with you with knives and guns and try to kill you.
And they don't have tops. Not like they got the security that we have in North America. Yeah, it was all right. I thought too many matches of they had that 14-man lucha match, or sorry, 14-man match, and they had the 10-man match. You know, it was a lot of very cluster balls, you know what I mean? But they weren't bad. Osprey looked good as always. Strickland looked good, and then of course, John Moxley wins the whole thing, the 10-man match. Right, they're keeping him strong.
But they
They're
got
gonna,
it. They got to
he
keep him
wasn't going
strong.
to lose because he's going to All In Texas there, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
you knew that Moxley was going to win. It wasn't a bad match. When you get 10 different guys in there, some guys have never worked together before. It's hard to make a good match. It wasn't bad. It was better than the 14-man lucha match.
right on. All right, I want to
So
touch on this because it's history. I mean, what can we say about this? Mercedes Monet.
mhm.
I don't understand why it's happening this way, but this woman now holds the TBS Women's Championship, the CMLL World Women's Championship, the Women's Owen Hart Cup Championship, the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship, the EWA Women's Championship, and in 2 weeks, she's going for the AEW Women's Heavyweight Championship or World Championship.
But she's definitely going to win, and she's the first woman to compete in this Mexican arena last night. First woman to what was it? So the first woman to compete headline at Madison Square Garden in wrestling, Mexico Arena, Tokyo Dome, and I believe I can't remember the other dome it was, but she's made a few things. So it just goes to show
MSG.
yeah, I said that one. She's a better fit in AEW than she was in WWE, and she's definitely winning the AEW Women's Championship. This is 100%.
You
Tony's
can't
finally
see
getting
it.
his money's worth. We all said at first she started out slow, and now Tony's just he's done a good job of booking her. Give the guy credit. He's pushed her to the forefront. He's booked her well. He's pushed her well, and she's responded well. And yeah, she's doing great. Can't
It's
knock her
crazy.
anymore.
Crazy, man. I'm just to think about we were shitting on her, calling her like, this is
Well, she
useless,
was
this and
bad at
that.
first. She deserved all that.
I still say she's crap on the mic. Don't get me wrong. I'm not giving her any marks when it comes to mic work. I mean, her in-ring work speaks for
Well,
itself.
that's on
She's
Tony
amazing.
Khan though. He needs to get proper writers to write for her and not allow that.
Well, it looks like
Don't let
wrestling
your
in general.
yeah, yeah,
Wrestling
I
in
know.
general needs writers.
I know. So, but yeah, no, Tony, give the guy credit, man. He's done a good job with Mercedes Monet as far as pushing her to the forefront. He's getting his money out of her now, and so I got
Yeah,
to give
yeah.
the guy credit on that.
So Will Ospreay seems to be the bright light of that company, in my opinion. Swerve as well. Those are the two guys that I kind of tune in for. Like where's Edge? I haven't seen him in ages, man.
Taking a
Like
break,
I
taking a
get it,
rest.
but he just came off injury. Why would you need another break? You know what I mean?
I
Like, I
think they're
mean,
figuring out what to do with him. They're going to run that Edge and Christian thing or something like that, and he's going to
well,
go out
see,
soon.
they're just
Edge.
prolonging it because I don't get it. Like, it's just like some of these stories you figure, okay, we're going to take a turn, but then they take 5 steps back. This is what I
Mm-hmm.
wish they would improve. I think that's what turns a lot of people off is you come in. It's like watching an indie show, but every week. Like,
Mm-hmm. Pretty
when you
much.
guys when we run shows here in Vancouver, for example, with Caw, right? Canadian Apex, or yeah, they Canadian Apex. It's like
Mm-hmm.
there's really no continuity in the storylines because I mean they run shows once a month, right?
Pretty much.
And that's what it feels like. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's a different animal because you're only running one show a month. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But when
Yeah.
you're running a show every week and it feels like that, that's where my issue is. Um, it's just kind of like have continuity, give us something to come back to tune into. You got one storyline that totally has any kind of continuity, and that's the Moxley, Swerve, Hangman, Offspray storyline. The rest
Mm-hmm.
of it is just kind of thrown together. I don't know half these guys and girls, and I pride myself on knowing who most of these
Well,
people are.
that's what Tony Khan wants. So, like you just said, he's very indie mentality.
Yeah.
He's all about the pop. He's all about it pleasing the marks. And that works sometimes, but also backfires against, because now the marks are turning on him and they're trashing him online. So, I mean, that's what he goes for. He goes for what you said. I don't think he believes in characters as much. He's more of guys in the underwear flipping and flopping. That's what he likes. Storylines aren't a huge thing for him because he's like a Ring of Honor kind of guy. He likes that kind of stuff. He's getting there, and we're just gonna wrestle, and we're gonna have a 5-star match every night, and a story is irrelevant as long as you go out and have a match. That's kind of his mentality.
And ultimately, that's the difference between Vince and him. And again, this is what I was talking about in the very beginning about the WWE being a grassroots company. AEW is a grassroots company.
Yeah, the
Here's the
Cosmos,
biggest, but here's the biggest difference. Vince had to gamble with his own money when he didn't have any money.
yeah.
So everything he's earned, everything he's created is off the sweat and blood of his back. That of Pat Patterson and them working on the pool side, all those little details, scrimping and saving, sacrificing, putting it all together to make what it is today. Coney Khan, on the other hand, we've said this time and time again before, he doesn't have the value of that kind of money because it's not his.
Yeah.
So, that's why I've always kind of tried to maintain, like, okay, what would Tony Khan do if all the funds ran out? They're having problems with the network now. WB is being sold again. And if it's anything like last time, the people who came in didn't want wrestling, they got rid of WCW.
Yep, it's true. That's why it went down, actually.
Right. So, it's kind of an interesting thing. Back to WWE, because we haven't really talked about it. R-Truth getting his match on SmackDown, of all places.
I guess it's smart. I guess put him on free TV so the casuals and the regulars will tune in and watch it. I guess.
Yeah,
So
yeah. What do you make of his character, man? It's really confusing because he keeps calling himself Wrong Killings, but they keep referring to him as R-Truth.
Dude, like, if he was gone, they should let him be gone or not let him go in the first place. Because now I think it's just kind of like it's getting kind of corny now. I don't know what he's doing. I'm not really enjoying it, actually, to be honest with you. I don't think it's people were all in the moment. Hashtag R-Truth, we want truth, and now he's back. It's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of faded out, if you ask me. I don't know. What do you think of it?
I don't know, dude. Again, we'll watch to see the program tomorrow night and see what's happening, right? I mean, they're keeping him to the one brand, so he's not running back and forth, right? So, I mean, from that perspective, we're only getting it once a week, and him coming out attacking that aggressive side of him, it's kind of interesting. I like it. I like how he's catching Cena as well, and Cena's allowing it to happen to get, I mean, think about it. Last week, twice in the same program, he got attacked from behind, right? And he got his match. So.
The funniest thing is I see online is everybody saying they're calling Goldberg Oldberg.
Let's talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up.
So I respond back with a simple question. I asked them, "How old is R-Truth?" Nobody answers me back. So don't sit there. These guys sit there loving R-Truth, and they're calling Goldberg old. They're only a few years apart.
But see, here's the thing. I don't get it why they would say this and why they're all complaining on Triple. And again, I love Triple H. He's always been one of my top 3 favorite wrestlers. Okay, and this is not based on ring. Well, it's based on ring work and the character and all this kind of stuff. But I'm not basing it on actual criteria. I'm basing it on what I liked as a young guy growing up.
Yep.
He was my favorite heel growing up. Undertaker was my favorite, whatever he was. Growing up. You know what I mean? Those were my 2 guys. I always gravitated to them, always enjoyed them. To the point where my dad, even though he knew it was a work, he would get mad at me. Why do you support Triple H? Why do you like this bad guy? So it just kind of made me want to like him even more, just to get under the goat of the old man. It was just fun. That boxing and wrestling is something that me and my dad really enjoyed together. So, those were just good old times. But look, here's the reality of it. Okay. Very simply, Vince has brought back Goldberg more times than Triple H and this regime ever had. Okay. I'm not saying that this regime has its issues, but these people on the internet need to realize that Vince has been bringing them back straight into title matches like this for many years now. For the last 5-6 years, this is the first time the Triple H regime has brought him back and they're shitting on him. Like, okay, like you said to me off the air, you look at both these guys, they're saying he can't walk. And look at R-Truth. Yeah, okay, well, R-Truth is just a wrestler and a musician. Goldberg played football for how many years? College level, junior level, NFL level. Okay, so that's going to beat the shit out of your body as it is. All right.
Not to
And
mention Goldberg trains MMA too.
when he trained MMA, okay, and he's looking great. Maybe his legs are a little weak. Sure, I get that, but to shit on him,
I think he's got a hip injury or something. But like, here's the thing, and none of these marks can answer that. Who's the bigger star? Goldberg. Goldberg, because of Goldberg and Hollywood Hogan, NWO and Goldberg for 83 weeks, WCW kicked WWE's butt. R-Truth has never drawn a rating close to what Goldberg's drawn. R-Truth has never sold as many tickets as Goldberg ever has. 60,000 people, Georgia Dome, Goldberg, Hogan. R-Truth has never headlined anything like that. So these people they don't know wrestling history. They don't know like R-Truth is a great athlete. Don't get me wrong. Goldberg is a real deal athlete. This is a
no, I
completely
get
different
that. And
animal.
you know what? The more I'm thinking about it, I love Truth.
And
Don't
I
get me
love
wrong.
that. I want to say right now, I love that Goldberg's back.
Yeah.
It's great. He's going to have a match. He's going to lose. Somebody will interfere and they'll run a story off of this. I don't know if it's going to be Kaiser. I don't know who it's going to be. Goldberg, Gunther's next feud will come after he beats Goldberg. And what the people don't understand is Saturday Night Main Event is free on TV. And guess what? The casual guy wrestling loves to see Bill Goldberg. That's why he's
Dude,
on it.
it's
And it's in
prime
his
time.
hometown.
It's
Yeah,
prime
his hometown.
time. It's prime
Mhm.
time on a Saturday night, blah blah blah. It's a shitty time in the summer on a Saturday night. I get
Mhm.
it. Probably won't get your highest ratings of a Saturday night main event
Yeah.
that you would September to May, maybe.
Mhm.
But I mean, it is what it is, and I
And
get
actually, Triple H doesn't have full say on who comes in, but they're honoring Vince's word because Vince promised them a retirement match, and they're going through with what they told him.
they did, yeah, no, and that's fine. I get that. But here's something I thought about to myself, and this might rub some people the wrong way. When I look at the funniest men, the slapstick guys in WWE, I thought about it and I said to myself, I'd rather see Santino come back over R-Truth because I found Santino to be more entertaining
Oh, he's hilarious.
and more hilarious and more consistent. Where one could argue, I'm surprised that the mental health activists haven't come out saying, well, why are you having this guy portray someone who may have some mental health issues?
They probably have. We just probably haven't heard
But you
about
know
it.
what I'm saying? The delusional aspect of
Mhm.
it, all this, like making a mockery of people. One could argue that little Jimmy could be a mockery of people who have schizophrenia.
Yeah. No, I know
I'm
what you're
just
saying.
saying. I'm just saying.
I'm
It's
sure there's some
it's
people that are
really
offended by that.
interesting what these idiots on the internet decide to pick up on and what
Mm-hmm.
they decide to let alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my favorite, the gays for Palestine people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I know.
Like
I know.
all these LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, E, F, G people are out there trying to protest and saying, "Oh, I don't mean to get political. I'm just using this as an
Mm-hmm.
example. Like, oh, we support Iran. We support this. Well, do you even know what you people are supporting?
They wouldn't even be allowed to do that in that country. Be thrown in jail, if
No,
not
I'm just
killed,
saying,
doing that.
forget that. Forget
Yeah,
that
I know.
piece.
I
We
know.
already know that. But I'm just talking about how obtuse all of these people seem to be of this generation that they
I
don't
know.
even realize what they're protesting for and what they're actually asking for.
Totally true, man. I totally agree with you.
Right? And the same is in wrestling. People only choose what they want to pick on.
I know.
And that's frustrating to me. Like, this is why I stay offline. This is why when you tell me, oh, this is what you're saying on the internet, I kind of cringe. I don't want to know, bro, because it's just like, it just blows my mind. It makes me think about, how stupid most of these people are.
You saw it. The crowd loved Goldberg. They were chanting Goldberg, so they loved it.
Hey,
A
the
couple guys
crowd loved
online
it.
don't
The
like it.
people loved it.
I
He's
loved
going
it.
to get his one match. He looked good. The promo looked good. Him
In
and
great
Gunther
shape.
looked
Yeah,
good.
I thought Goldberg sounded good on the mic. He did a good
He
little
did.
promo there.
And Gunther looked bigger than Goldberg.
He's taller.
He's taller, right? So, I mean,
Mm.
having Goldberg look up to someone like that, this and that, I don't know
I
what
wish it
kind
would
of
be.
a
I
match
think
to
it should be.
expect. But, you
Or we'll
know,
get a jackhammer spear. I don't think he should be fighting Gunther. He should be fighting Braun. Braun beats him. Braun's the next monster because I retired Goldberg. That's what I think. But we'll
you
see
know
what
what? But,
happens.
like I said, I think, we talked about this last week. I think what they were doing with Braun and Gunther, were giving him a little taste of what it's like to be in the fan, with
Mm,
the fans, sort of a deal. And ultimately, I think right now it's going to be Gunther that's going to be the new face. He's
mm,
going to be a straight face. He's going to be one of those traditional faces, but people will get behind him as he'll evolve into something more. I feel this is the way they're going to go. And then
yeah.
eventually Braun will turn. He will become a face, ultimately. But I mean, right now, I think Gunther's going to be that
Because
next face.
Braun wrestles Goldberg. Like, yes, Braun is a better technical wrestler than Goldberg. He's not even 1/10 of the star Goldberg is or ever will be. But Braun has a similar style. Who did the spear? Goldberg does the spear.
Well,
Who does
look,
these kind of
if
power moves?
you
So I wish they would have had I wish they would have put Braun versus Goldberg.
if you want to talk about a real passing of the torch, both those guys are from Atlanta. Both those guys come
That's
from
what I
the
mean.
WCW family in essence,
Yeah.
right? I mean, most of Scott Steiner and the Dogface Gremlin, his dad, Rick, most of their I mean, they had their great run in WWE, but everything really happened for them in WCW with the
Not to
NWO and all
mention
that.
Rick and Goldberg are friends too. It just ties in, you know what I mean?
Right. So, if you want to talk about a passing of a torch, I get it. That would be the proper way to do it, but we're not writing. So we
Yeah.
just kind of go with that. All right, brother man. Listen, it's a quiet week. There's no shows this weekend, no pay-per-views,
No.
nothing like that. So I think we should just cap it off here, man. We talked a lot here today, man, and we also talked a lot of shit. So my apologies if I've offended anybody. I did not mean to. It's not my intention. I'm just pointing out facts.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Bobby Sampson only speaks in facts. He doesn't talk in riddles. He doesn't speak in assumptions. He only talks in facts. And if my facts are wrong, tell me. tell me I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. I want to learn. If I'm wrong about something, if my fact you think is wrong, tell me. I don't think I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
I don't think so. No, I agree with what you said today.
Right? It's just the world we live in is so backwards, shit back crazy. The things you support are the things that will kill you, people. It's like processed foods. It's like Skittles. Don't feed your kids crap, but we keep doing it because it's easy.
Easy and convenient. It keeps them happy, pretty much.
Right. But if you want a healthy child and you want a healthy brain, and you want the next generation that's going to be looking after you and me when we're old, then we need to feed them right, bro.
I know it's scary that they're going to be in charge one day, but they will be in 20 years, man.
But here's the reality of it. All we have to do is focus on the ones that we have control over. Not control in a bad way, just in terms of how we raise them and this and that and mold them, right? So it's up to us to make those decisions for our children. Guys and gals, I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of great ACDC, those that download, like, subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And ladies and gentlemen, hard work, faith, patience. Just keep working hard, man. Just don't stop working hard. Don't stop trying. Don't stop believing in yourself. Don't stop yourself from taking a risk. Try. Without trying, you can't achieve anything. Nothing. If you want to be a professional boxer, you have to throw that jab. You have to take that punch in order to understand and be able to move on. Anyone who just sits there and contemplates, you'll never achieve anything, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, have a great weekend. Enjoy it. Like I said, it's quiet right across the board. So great time to spend time with the family because July is going to be busy. July is going to be busy. Samp and Chance are out. Talk to you next week.